Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Before we get started today, I want to take care of some business and give a big thank you to Rob, TheApostleP, and anybody who nominated and voted for my channel in his contest. The fact that I got that recognition was pretty awesome, unexpected, and welcome. I mean, and additionally, I'll put some links in the description below to the other winners of his contest, because frankly there's too many knives out there for all of us to do the reviews and the up close looks and the sneak peeks, all those kinds of things for any one channel really to handle. So thank you very much again, much appreciated. And with that said, let's get a look at the knives we got today. Alright, so I'm trying something a little bit different today. It's a nice, really nice October, it feels like stealing a last day of summer kind of day. Outside here at the last bit of sunlight right when I got home from work, and thought we'd use some of that nice natural lighting to take a look at the knives we got today. We'll be looking at the new 35s from Great Eastern. Out here on the tailgate I've got a couple here, different versions, so let's see what we got. Alright guys, let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at the brand new 35s that are out. This is first envision. I mean, I'm sure Great Eastern had it in mind, but first opportunity coming to be was part of the 2016 Bladeforums knife. I presume this will be the name of the actual, the typical Titty Ute and other knives that come out, not just the Bladeforums SFO, but presume that they're all going to keep the Drover name. I don't know whether that's just the name of Charlie's harness jack, of which these two that I have today are, or whether all of the frames are gonna, or all of the knives built on this new 35 frame are going to have that name or not. But from what I understand, this is the voted name on the forums, the Drover. Got a really cool, limited run tube there. You can see that the knife actually there on the front. More details there. A little bit of a write up. I'll just kind of move past this, and you can read and pause that on your own time. Check it out. Again, this one is the burnt orange worm groove. So let's take a look. Actually, I cheated. I got these out of the box already. Here's that knife that we just spoke about. The worm groove is really everything about this knife is a throwback to an older style, older design knife. Just the cigar shape. This length is a new length for the cigar shape from Great Eastern. The worm groove. You can see there, tooled in, different. That's going to be different for every knife, exactly how that groove works. That's an old style. The bar shield, that's a square bar shield, old style again. And you got the long pull, which is definitely an older style for that kind of blade. It's just a classic looking knife. Now this knife is a half scout, and let me go ahead and grab another scout here that I have to illustrate that point. Alright, so here we have an old Camilla scout. This actually belonged to my wife's grandfather, and my father-in-law passed it on to me, and I cleaned it up a little bit. I can't remember if we've shown this in a video before or not, but this is your typical scout pattern. You got that, again, that cigar shape. This one, just like the new 35s, is lined bolsters. It's not a bar shield, but it's that center planted symmetrical shield. Typical features of a scout are bail here, and then of course a variety of tools. Some scouts you're going to see like the corkscrew, different things. This scout has, again, a main spear blade. See, here's that Tang, that Camillus New York. And this one has your can opener, your bottle opener, and your awl or punch. And all these tools on the Scout ride on two springs. So you can see these springs in the back here, the steel in between the brass liners there. Wonderful aging. I really like how this knife came out. This is a Delrin handled knife. Really cleaned up really nice. So anyway, we'll take that, and then again we'll bring back the new creation, the sort of the ode to these older knives. And I mean, a lot of the similarities are pretty apparent here. The sizing is actually pretty similar to this Camillus. That's the first time I've actually noticed that. A lot of the styling, I mean, this clearly different jigging. This doesn't have any of the worm groove, and this is a bone. This is not Delrin. But that center mounted shield, the nickel silver single lined bolsters, that spear main blade, but obviously no bail here. This is marketed and serves as a half Scout. So what does that mean? That means we have a main spear blade. We'll take a little bit of a closer look at in just a minute, and we have a single tool. In this case, a very keen awl or punch that really just barely snaps. It doesn't really snap shut there. Did you guys see that? That was interesting. Anyway, has those riding on a single spring. See that? There's a little spacer there for them to come out, but instead of this being a two-spring knife, this is a single spring versus a full Scout, which is traditional. 2-spring, 4 tools. This is a single spring, 2 tools. So let's take another close look at the blades. You know, this is looks to be a very typical of their spears come out recently with the long pull, nice satin finish. This one is unique because, of course, we have the Bladeforums emblem right there. By the way, I'm user JPrime84 on Bladeforums. The Bladeforums knife is the pattern production premiere for the 35s. Look at that sheen. Really nice. Oh, I see the mosquitoes coming out at the corner of my eye. I'm going to have to pick up the pace. And then obviously we've got the Great Eastern Cutlery etching there. Not etching, tang stamp. Now, I did notice with mine, I don't know if we see this a little bit, when you run this risk, it hasn't marked it enough where you can really even see it, I don't think. Still looks pretty good. But I found that really to avoid, because of the limited space that they have here in this tray when they come down, you can get some blade rub. So if you want to avoid that, you probably are going to want to open the tool at the other end before closing this tool, and then just kind of vice versa when you bring them together. Do that very carefully. Sorry, mosquitoes. The awl has the numbering there. There's the new 35, and then of course Titusville Ironworks. The way they built this is, I mean, it's not quite an edge it has on here, but almost. Like, I mean, it's not going to cut me, but you know, you could certainly score something with this edge. I don't really know how to really show that. It's flat. It's totally flat on this side. And as you can see, there's a bevel that comes down into what is really just a sinister little point there. I mean, that is, for any kind of detail task, very, very precise point and sharp point too. You would not want to catch yourself on that. And again, with the closing, you want to be pretty careful and not jam that in there. It actually mine kind of wants to rub a little bit, so I think what I'm going to do is, instead, I mean, it would close easy. I wouldn't have to force it down, but to avoid the scratching, I'm just going to close that first, and then drop that closed. Look at that, actually, too. There it goes. Maybe it just needs to get broken in. I have not handled these hardly at all. Just barely leaves that tip unexposed. Anyway, new. I think this worm groove is new too for Great Eastern. I don't think they've attempted that before.
my honest opinion is, and this is really true with a lot of their jigging right out of the box, is it's just too uniform. I mean, obviously the group jigging isn't, the worm groove isn't uniform, but even in the worm groove, I mean, I can see the tooling, right? You can see where the bit or whatever has made a very particular pattern. I think this will be really interesting and beautiful look after it's been in somebody's pocket for like 5-6 years, you know, where it starts to wear out all of these. And I shouldn't say sharp, nothing on here is sharp, but you know, it starts to average out the surface of this knife over time. I think that'll be a lot more interesting. As much as I hate to say it, this might be finding a new home. Of course, I do all my sales on Bladeforums, so keep an eye out there if you're looking to get this knife or one like it. And the reason is I opened this one, you know, I liked it. I don't have any of the other Bladeforums knife. I've been a member there for a couple years. I thought I really should have one. I was all set to do it, but I hate to own more than one in a given pattern. And I happened to get a successful pre-order on one of Charlie's non-Bladeforums knife, just the harness jack, in the latest run. So let's take a look at that, and I think you'll see why some kind of birds going overhead, why I went with that. So here's that tube, Northfield harness jack, Charlie Campagna, as we'd expect. So here we go, number 10. And again, I'll just kind of move this past. You can pause it and read at your leisure. And this one is the Gabon Ebony, African. Wanted to get this out. I have the knife out already, but I did want to show the button, because this one does come with a button. Got the little nice sheriff's badge kind of look there. But anyway, that's your button. And there's something about ebony, you guys. Something about ebony. Look at this. Does this look like a classy knife or what? We're still obviously talking about the half scout, spear main. That we do have a blade etch on this one. Still satin, but of course we have our harness jack number 10. This one I have actually had in my pocket a couple days. If that tells you I've made my decision already, but same blade, different etch, different tang stamp, obviously. Just get the Northfield, and of course same tool. Same tool there. This does not have the pattern production premiere. I guess they rattled the Bladeforums knife off first. But for me, it just came down to handle materials. I actually kind of like, they did a slightly different shield. They did the, not the bar shield, but the rounded shield. And it just the symmetry that you see here, and just the finish on that ebony. And for me, especially the pile side on this knife. I mean, I know some people look for just the jet black, but especially here in the sunlight, look at those, like, the notes of brown in there, and it just has this sheen to it, and I can see the wood grain, and it feels good in the hand. I mean, it's got that warm wooden feel, but very hard, durable. I just like, as soon as I took it out, I was like, yep, I'm keeping this. It just bumped the other guy off the keeper list. That's just how it goes. I try to hang on to just kind of a core set of knives that I really like, and you know, just go from there. I thought my camera's turned its flash on. This is so dark, it probably thought it needed it. If this one has that same kind of where it wants to grab closing. Now that one closes freely. Oh, there you can see a little bit of the marking, well, before the focus shifted, that I was talking about. And really, if you're going to use these knives, this is going to happen. Come on. Right there. If I get the light just right. See where it just barely rubs that ridge there on with the swedge on the back, right in here. You're just going to get that. When you go to open the tool, you know, you're pushing it in just a hair from the pressure, and it's going to rub right there. Not a huge deal. I'm going to use these knives. Those are the other reason. This is a better collector knife with the Pattern Production Premier. First Jigging from GEC does this. I'm bad at collecting. I just tend to do more using. So this guy is just gonna, I mean, once you just have that kind of charcoal patina on here, this is really just gonna be let's go ahead and take a look with the whole blade open. This is just gonna be a really nice looking knife for many years. It's a good size. I had one of their other cigars, 54.3. I don't have it anymore, I'm not sure, but it was too big. It was too big for me. This one is really good, just right. I also had a White Owl for a while. I forget the pattern number on that. Wanted to say 68, but don't quote me on it. That one was good too. It was a smaller knife. This is a, you know, similar size to the 77s that came out recently. Just a nice, not too big in the hand, not too thin, because again, it's only that half scout. Really just nice knife overall. Let's take a look at the all the way open. And again, I've not had a knife that had this tool on there. Well, I mean, this guy does, but I don't use him all that much. And there's different styles to these too, which of course, if you really look into Charlie's harness jacks, you'll see that. You'll see how this one has this kind of groove built into it here. And get the focus on point. Versus this one is like flat. You can see that kind of triangle shape to it. This one is a point. So there's lots of different variations of these. I guess they all maybe excel at different things, but how about the snap on that old knife? Anyway, really like this one. This one is absolutely going to be a long-term keeper. Can't imagine getting rid of this. Big fan. Do one last look here at the two of them before we move on. I've been talking for a while here. New 35s, both harness jacks in this case. Look for more 35 pattern. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they do a full scout. Maybe they'll do a half scout in it with a different other tool, you know. Not sure what they'll do, but even if it was a pin blade with a little pen knife on the other end, that would be kind of neat too. New pattern from Great Eastern, new harness jack from Charlie Campagna. Thanks for taking a look.